Hey everybody and welcome back to Sammy Stories. Today we got another crazy story from r/best of Redditor updates where Opie finds out that his fiance has been cheating on him 4 months before their supposed wedding and she ends up blaming him. Let me start from the beginning here. Yesterday I met my fiance at our wedding venue for our 4-month out meeting to finalize details. We drove to the venue separately because she was leaving straight from work. Towards the end of the meeting, she let me know that her friend was dropping off her rental car and needed a ride home, and asked if that would be okay. I said yes, thinking nothing of it, as it wasn't that far from our home and I know her friend well. I get home and tried to get in touch with her for the next 3 hours. No answer. At approximately 1:30 mark, I texted her friend and asked if she had made it there okay. I was very worried. My fiance ends up coming home and says sorry it took longer than expected, she hung out with her friend for a bit before leaving. Okay, no biggie, just let me know the next time, please. Her friend gets back to me a few minutes later and says, sorry I couldn't make it to the venue, didn't see your fiance tonight. I asked her why her friend would say this and she said that she can't control what her friend says, and walks outside. I'm sketched out by this point. I've never done this, but I looked at her phone records. Yes, I did, and I don't regret it. I saw that she went outside and she called her friend that had texted me right after she went outside. I also saw an hour-long call with a number I didn't know on the way to the venue. I asked her what rental place they went to and multiple other questions. She had quick answers and they seemed legit. I thought maybe I'm crazy and I just needed to chill and sleep on it. This morning, I asked her to please see the text from her friend asking her to pick her up, and I would apologize for questioning her the previous night. She said no. I said, when I caught up with you yesterday on the way to the venue, I saw you were on your phone. Who was that? She then said, oh, that's just a friend I picked up later on. That's when I knew for a fact she was lying. I said, I looked at her phone records and knew that it wasn't true. She then changed her sorry to say, oh, I needed to meet up with a coworker to discuss a patient. Who is the coworker and why couldn't you discuss that over the phone? I need to show him the techniques in person. His name is Michael. Okay, I am sketched out beyond belief at this point. We never lied to each other. I asked to see the text with Michael. She said she wouldn't let me see. I said, why not if there's nothing to hide? Are you having an affair? Do you not want to be together anymore? She pauses and proceeds to tell me all the things that are wrong with me. I work too much, I don't spend enough time with her, I don't listen. I'm astonished at this point. All of this is news to me. I put 2 and 2 together at this point, I know something sketchy is going on. I again asked to see the texts. It took about a half hour of convincing to see the texts and they were crazy. They were sexual in nature and talking a lot of stuff about me. Also, how she wanted to be with him and how they're essentially in love. She started this job 1.5 months ago, he is her coworker, and he is also 15 to 20 years older and divorced with multiple kids. I have been financially supporting her for the last few months as she got back on her feet and was working extra so she wouldn't have to pick up a part-time job. We own a house which we both live in with 3 dogs and a horse. Sorry for the novel, I am beside myself right now. I did not see this coming, and we were going to get married in 4 months. Any advice would help. OP posted the first update a little while later in the evening. As an update, I was finally able to sit down with her tonight and go over this. Again, she came in trying to blame me for what she did, trying to justify the cheating and lying as a direct result of my lack of communication and listening. She said that she wouldn't have had to start talking to this guy if I had been listening better. I spent too much time in the office working and don't dedicate enough time to her. I tried to explain that I was putting in extra hours to try and support her and the family financially while she was struggling so she wouldn't have to get a part-time job. She said that she would have rather gotten a part-time job, which makes no sense to me. She was actually under the impression that because this was short-lived, 1 week she said, and they only made out once, that we could move past this. When I brought up the text where she was trashing me and talking sexual with him, she deflected hard and I got nowhere with that. I told her that I'm not the reason that this is happening. She went too far and should have communicated with me or thought about the implications first. that I can never trust her again and that this is all because of her actions. Whether she wants to try and justify this as my fault is up to her. At the end of this part, it got a bit calmer. I said, listen, we just really need to figure out the house we own jointly and the 3 dogs. We came to the conclusion that either I stay and buy her out or we sell and get new places. The dogs, one of us will get 1, the other will get 2. To be decided. So that's where we left this off tonight. And we'll continue to keep you all posted on the progress. Curious what you all would do about the house. Financially, I can support it alone, but it is nearly 3k square feet and 5 acres of land, which was bought solely to have her horse. She's taking the horse when she leaves and boarding it at a barn. Classic cheater. Immediately try to make yourself feel less terrible by making poor excuses why you should be allowed to cheat. The attempts to pin this on OP are just laughable. So far, this has probably been the most mature story I've read. OP is not overtly emotional and sounds very cold and calculated when writing about the breakup, splitting the house, the dogs, etc. OP posted the first real update a few days later. I was able to sit and have a 3-hour conversation with her tonight. We talked about our relationship and what led to what occurred. Of course, it started with her telling me what I did wrong in our relationship. Lack of communication, spending too much time working and on my phone. I don't disagree with any of these things. My mindset behind working so much was support of the family. I run an e-commerce business on the side and I am a one-man customer service center and deals happen 24 hours a day. I am never not on the clock. I could have certainly been better about setting my phone aside and responding to people the next day. The lack of communication was on both ends, and the prime example of this is the fact that I was unaware that she was unhappy with any of this. It was never communicated to me. She said that she felt I would have just gotten upset if she told me, but never gave me the chance to work on it. I am not a perfect person by any means, and many times I do or say things that are misinterpreted by her as rude. An example of this is a week or 2 ago I was trying to help her with a budget with her financial problems to try and set up a plan to get her back on track. To note, I work in the financial industry and do this for all my clients all the time. She had mentioned that she owed me maybe $1,000 and that she would get that back to me in the next paycheck. I said something like, I think it's a little bit more than that, let's go to the transfers I made to our joint account. And it ended up being over $5,000. My purpose for this was not to make her feel bad, but to realize how much I've been contributing. She took this as me trying to humiliate her. I was just trying to help, and maybe my timing was off. She told me I'd been too focused on money lately, but I was only trying to make sure we were going to be okay. We still had quite a bit to pay for the wedding, and my budgeting mentality was on overload trying to make sure that we had enough. The fact that she keeps trying to justify what she did by attributing that as a direct correlation to my flaws really bothers me. She keeps telling me that she is surprised I would throw away 7 years of a relationship like this. I keep having to remind her that I didn't throw it away. She did, with her actions. She told me that I told too many people too quickly and that we could have resolved all of this between us. She also said that she wouldn't have had to talk to someone else if I was a better listener and communicator. I have finally determined the extent of the affair, which I actually believe based on the text that I read. They began talking 1 or 2 weeks before via text. I don't know if they had met up before outside of work, but this time around he had asked her to the park to play basketball and talk. She met up with him and they ended up making out. I truly believe it didn't go further than this, yet. But it would have in the near future, I am certain. She says that he is not her boyfriend. She also took off tonight and I have no idea where she is at. I'm assuming with him or maybe a girlfriend. It is a awkward living situation, but I am hoping this resolves in the near term. I do think she wants me to get back with her and try to repair that. I think that the main issue was a lack of communication that manifested for a long time. We got into a routine, lived our boring, simple life, and meanwhile this problem was never discussed and grew over time. She acted out instead of talking to me, and also lied to my face / talked out a lot of stuff behind my back. She can be very sneaky and I don't think I can fully trust her again. Obviously this would be the easiest thing to do, but I don't think I would ever truly be happy. Understanding the root cause has helped me feel better. If nothing else, it will allow me to address my personality flaws and communication issues and see things from another perspective. I started hitting the gym today and I will keep a routine going. I also plan on picking back up my studying for my CFP designation. I took the week off to focus on my mental health. Today I called the wedding venue and officially cancelled the date. We were able to get some money back, but lost a bit unless the date can be resold to another couple, which is unlikely. I also spoke with her parents again to keep them apprised. They live very far away and I'm sure they're worried sick. I continue to let them know everything is fine and calm and they don't need to worry about their daughter. I did some research and with interest rates where they are today, I will not be able to find a comparable house for the mortgage I pay for this. Can barely find an apartment for less nowadays. I think my best option is to try and buy out her share and have her find an apartment. She seems agreeable at this time. We will have an appraiser out to assess the value and see what half of the equity would be and if that's doable for me. My question to you all are, does this change your mind at all about the situation? Am I handling this properly? And if not, what should I be doing different? Like I said, OP is handling the situation very well. The girl is just making up excuses after excuses and will probably never admit that she was in the wrong, which she clearly is. I hope she and her ancient new boy toy start dating each other. They deserve each other, if anything. I also think that talking smack about OP was just a horrible thing to do, and to then lie about it, even though the evidence is right there, is just pitiful. If you liked the video so far, please be sure to like and subscribe to support the channel. The final update came a month later. It's been nearly a month since this whole situation went down and I owe you all an update. It has been a very busy, emotional and eventful month. So I'm not going to lie, the few days after this happened to me, I was a pathetic mess, groveling to get back with this cheating POS. It's embarrassing to admit, but it happened. And it was all part of the process of moving on. While in this vulnerable state, I tried everything I could do to make things right, to make things better, but nothing worked. I was actually told that she had to make a decision, me or him, and she did the right thing choosing him. I think that's when I woke up and realized that I had let my self-worth go down the drain and I needed to take a step back and really focus on me and what was best for me. It is hard, after 7 years of doing everything for someone else, to focus on your own needs, but that's exactly what I've been doing since. I moved our joint savings account to my individual checking account. I did the math of what was owed to me and transferred half of the balance back to the joint account for hers to take. I have been working out every day since it happened. It makes me feel good to not only improve how I look, but helps me continue to think clearly. I've gone suit shopping, for a massage, out with friends and family. Not only was this relationship isolating my friends and family, which should have been a huge red flag, but I never did anything for myself. Buying clothes is just not something I would do. I was always worried about providing for my significant other and animals. I've been seeing a therapist for the first time in my life on a weekly basis. It helps me talk things out and my decision making. It is something I will probably continue to do after this situation resolves, just to continue to improve myself. Now, for the bigger items. I'm still living in the house with my ex. She is sleeping in the guest bedroom and we are at a point where the only communication is, "Did you feed the dogs?" I think she is a terrible person. No matter what I say, in her mind, this is my fault. To accuse someone of being a bad communicator and then using that as an excuse to then not communicate her feelings to me and cheat is her being a hypocrite and an easy out in her delusional mind. I stopped bothering trying to reason with her because she is unreasonable. I have been keeping the ball rolling with listing the house for sale. I contacted an agent and had them come and was happy with the proposed sale price. She then requested that I contact 2 other agents and get their opinions, one of which was recommended by her friend. Yes, I made all the calls and set up all the appointment and met with these people. This is how the relationship always was, and even though it's not fair, I've been willing to do it all to get the hell out of here. After meeting with all 3, we ended up going to the first agent. Pictures were taken on Sunday and the house was on sale Sunday night. Open house next Saturday, and already getting a lot of attention on the RE sites. She will be taking the horse to a barn somewhere TBD. I had a conversation about the dogs and offered to take one or none. She said she would take all 3 of them to keep them together. They are a happy bunch, and I don't want to fight over taking one if that will break them up. And it also selfishly allows me to pursue a clean start. Unexpected, I met someone about a week ago that I've been spending a lot of time with. I have no false expectations here, but I am enjoying hanging out with her. She's been through a similar situation in the past and has been helping me through this. It's really eye-opening speaking with a kind, thoughtful, and independent woman. It makes me realize what a narcissist my ex was. Completely self-centered, dependent, and manipulative. I should have listened to the warnings from my family and friends long ago. I definitely fell into the trap of being in a simple routine. I wasn't enjoying life. It was just an easy situation to be in. A nice house, lots of land, great animals, didn't want to rock the boat, so I just continued on. You don't really realize this until you take a step back and truly reflect. Some might say it was wasted time, but I am really using this as a learning experience. I will not ignore red flags in the future. I will not fall into the simplicity trap. I will continue to maintain relationships with my friends and family. I just want to end this with a huge shout out to everyone on here that has commented on my original post. I posted on Reddit because I had no idea what to do. Those of you that took the time to try and help a complete stranger on Reddit are amazing. I read every single comment and they all helped me get to where I am now. I'm looking forward to the next chapter in my life, wherever it takes me. Thank you all, truly. Yes, a great ending. Well deserved for OP. If not for the start of this update where he tried to get back with her, I would have almost thought that he was invincible. I'm glad she ended up with the guy, and I hope everything crashes and burns in her life. She is a hurtful person at the core, and clearly needs a very strong wake-up call to consider changing her life. I hope you guys enjoyed this story, and I will see you guys in the next one. See ya!